When Israel was a child, I loved him. The prophet Hosea is the prophet of love. The Spirit of God is the Spirit also of humanity, and he breathes not only the poetic message, but also the poetic diction, and here poetry. The image speaks. The will is touched by the imagination. And what have we? Words of love from a loving Creator, more loving than any parent. I was like someone who lifts an infant close against his cheek. Stooping down to him, I gave him his food. It is the attitude that the Lord delights to see at Holy Communion. He likes to stoop down to the child who opens his mouth and is fed. And I am sure that the graces given in that way are more numerous than those deflected by a proud attitude of one who stands as a mate to a mate, a chum to a chum. The attitude of being fed and not grasping is that of the humble creature who waits for all and does not snatch and appropriate. I led them with reins of kindness, with leading strings of love. The famous chords of Adam in Old Testament language have never been fully understood. Could it be the umbilical cord? That is what links the child to its mother as the lifeline. But then there is the virtual umbilical cord which always remains. Homeward bound, the child recognizes the voice of the mother and even her smell. The Lord is therefore a Lord of love, and that magnetism operates in the Gospel as well. Just think of the regard, the power of a beckoning to Levi. Come, follow me. Without a word, he gets up and follows him. No noise. But what is remarkable is the openness of the soul. And here the Lord warns that those that he is sending to expect that corresponding yes or no on behalf of man. And it is precisely the yes or no of the will expressed by the yes or no of peace. For what makes it possible for the Lord to invite and get through? The man of peace. As you go, proclaim, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Close at hand it is. And if we're not at peace, we too deflect its power. He tells them to cure the sick, raise the dead. All this is given to them, power over the demons. And yet we can refuse. He warns them to ask for someone worthy, trustworthy. And he wants them to know how to distinguish the man of peace. The son of peace is the Hebrew expression, and they're to stay with him. Are we sons of peace? Or are we in aggressive mode? We fight many battles in many ways, and we lose our peace. We think we're doing it for the Lord, but the Lord of peace has been deflected from us, and his grace cannot get through to us. We're so busy fighting the Lord's battles. Around us, the Lord and his angels see a perpetual buzz, a hum of deflection, all for God, of course, but we're not souls of peace. On the contrary, what does he want? Free souls. He tells them what not to take. Provide yourselves with no gold or silver, not even with a few coppers for your purse, with no haversack for the journey, or spare tunic, or footwear, or staff. But he does say, for the workman deserves his keep, indicating that those who live by the gospel can actually be provided by the gospel's means, for it is the Lord of providence, who wants us free. There is actually a big advantage sometimes in not having a huge monastery on one's shoulders. Why? A monastery can become a great machine, eating itself up. Elijah was free. He depended only on the monastery of providence. Ravens. And ravens come to us in human form. Let us ask this grace to be free, to be peaceful, to be loving. When one holds a child in one's arms, a child that has not been contaminated, but does not, as we say in Irish, make strange, but is trusting, there we have something of the attitude that the Lord wants to see in our own souls towards Him, resting on the arms that made us, who loves us and just wants us to feel the power of His loving arms, holding us safely in a very safe place in the universe. Who started